flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Morandi,
Here.
Trustee Early,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Here.
Trustee Murphy,
Here.
Trustee Bellotto.
Here. Okay, I'd like to just to start the meeting. As everyone probably knows, it's the 17th anniversary of 9/11 and the attack, the tragic attack, took down the two buildings. And anyway, so I'd like to take a moment, have a moment of silence for all those that died that day and subsequently after, people at the emergency responders and people probably lived in the area that got cancer from inhaling all of the toxic fumes and debris that was floating around. So just take a few moments of silence for that and then start our meeting. Thank you. Okay, so thank you all. I think one thing I think about when that is like these places that are getting bombed in other areas also, like how shocking that was for us to have and to think of places where people aren't political or wherever and their whole towns are being destroyed in other places in the world and what that must feel like, how lucky we are here and how tragic this seemed to us, and imagine having a whole city like Aleppo just taken down to the ground, and that's your family and your life and everything, and you're not dealing with the politics or whatever that's going on there, and so we are incredibly lucky here, and my heart's out to those people too, and how, you know, everything you own, everything you've lived for, your family, your generations are all just destroyed, so it's kind of, I think, anyway, we'll move on to brighter things here, hopefully. Let's see, I had a couple sheets here, so just gotta organize myself a little. Monthly reports, we have Recreation Commission is up first, and we have our new chairperson, Ruth-Ann Cullenbar, who's so far doing a phenomenal job, and we have a great report, which I'm happy to see, so you're up if you'd like to read this, or...
I do have a few issues, as I wrote in my report, I need to discuss with, with the applications get approved. You might have seen in the minutes reflecting that if it's a non-ticketed event and one that's just a usual and customary application, that we're not waiting until the regular meetings. If it comes in beforehand, then the commission has voted and agreed that the chairperson or designee can approve those, so they can go on in a more timely manner, and we're not waiting until like 2 or 3 days before, as we're working on the new application. Trustee Early gave me some great feedback on the revision to the application of use. Some questions that she asked that we also asked is on the insurance level. It's something that, as you're looking over them, we may wanna revisit the level of insurance that groups or individuals need to have when they're using the things. Right now, it's for individuals, it's 300,000. For groups, it's 100,000, 1 million to 2 million. But that's something that, I don't know if we want to look at that in this day and age, or something that our insurance company should look at again. The other thing was fees that are being charged. The fee scale is the same as it has been, I understand, for quite a while, with the exception of the ticket events one that you approved last year, which is $2,000 for the ticket events using Mayor's Park. So I don't know if you wanna look over again and give feedback at some point, is what you think might be appropriate to increase to use Mayor's Park. For locals, during the week it's for village residents, it's $25 during the week and $50 on weekends. For Phillipstown residents, it's $50 during the week or $100 on weekends. So I don't know if that's something that you wanna take a look at, and
Will you guys be putting what your recommendation is first, and giving
would
that-
you like that? I mean, we can
Yeah.
certainly at our next meeting,
Yeah.
you know, is that something that you want to visit?
Yeah,
Trustee
definitely,
Early did mention that, is that something you would
definitely.
more in line with what we're now doing
Yeah.
for, okay, very good. Another point that you brought up, which was a great one, which, is, with the use of the dumpster at Mayor's Park. There are dumpsters there, so of course when people go and use the Mayor's Park, the pavilion area, then most likely they're putting their things in the dumpster. We don't take the use of the dumpster fee off their security deposit, but it might be something we consider, that if whoever checks the facility after it's used, if the dumpster is full because of the party, should that come off their security? So those are things that Trustee Early brought up, so we'll discuss at our next meeting, and if you have anything else. I need to make a correction on the third bullet, which is the Waterside Park tree damage, where it says, they went out to, bid for the trim the roots and repair the pavers. I also put mulch and seeding, that will have to be that's separate. The trimming the roots and repair of the pavers is one piece of the project. Mulching the area where the pavers are gonna be removed from, because they can't trim the roots. From one of the trees, only 2 roots can be trimmed, the tree, I should say, only 2 roots can be trimmed, so the other roots are still going to be above ground level, and they're gonna be, the pavers removed and mulch put down there. So the mulch and the seeding is separate. We do have one bid from Jericho Masonry for the masonry work. And the question comes, we don't have any others as of tonight. Do we wanna move forward? I can hand that in and you can take a look at it. I don't know if that's public information at this point or
Yeah.
not, so. The choice would have to be, do we want them to, when is the first boat coming in? October 6th, do we want to go ahead and try to get the paving work done before October 6th? If not, I would suggest that we again block off that section so that when there is that much traffic in that area, and it's more likely that somebody could, have an accident, that we block that off area again. So,
When's your next, do you have another meeting?
our next meeting is next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. As far, should we wait for another estimate? It's coming from the insurance company, so the insurance, what's that? We have, but we didn't receive, do you think we'll receive that or not? We're not gonna go knocking doors down, I think asked them
I
a
think it's a very busy
number of
time of
times.
year, you look around, so.
Did Roger say he could do this or not?
I have not gotten back to Roger, so I wanted to wait to hear tonight if he wanted to see.
Okay.
To me, it's like if he could work it and get it done before the first vote, then I think that we should move forward. If he can't, I think that we should wait and then
Right,
have him.
okay. Do you think we need to run this by an insurance company or not? They're okay.
We have money. We have a $10,000 bill out to them for the trees, which they have not reimbursed us for yet, but there's no problem with it, it's just that we haven't gotten a check yet. But I think we're still well within the amount of money we have for this damage.
Okay.
And we still have to go to somebody for the seeding and the mulching. So, what's your,
I would move ahead with it, it's,
okay, I'll contact him tomorrow
as long as he can do it,
and see what his schedule,
Yeah.
how his schedule fits in, and go from there, great. Skate park, they are still moving forward. It's very exciting, the skate park people. It's exciting to see. I did contact and speak to Michelle Hartford, she's one of the teacher organizers, and she did get back to me, because they need to, their next step is to do test pits for the soil in the proposed area. So she did get back to me about what a test pit needed to be. Is it, The test, there would be about 5 of them. They would be 1 foot by 5 feet and then 5 feet deep. Yep, because they have to make sure that the soil in there is the right place to put this stuff. The soil material would be replaced, her feedback to me, turf layer also replaced, and then grass seed spread after they make the,
So they would do the digging and fill
they're
it?
they're gonna do everything, but
No, I mean, will they do it in the same day? We don't want like 5-foot pits out there.
no, they would have to do, I imagine they're gonna do it right, oh, it's a good question, it's not one I asked, but I'm assuming it would be the same day, but I'll see Michelle tomorrow, and I'll confirm. I don't think they have to keep them, I think they just wanna take a sample of the, how compact it is and that, so, the same day. So, the question is, if it's the same day and it's all gonna be done within the timely manner, we can go ahead and tell them it's okay to
I think, yeah, you
do
guys can.
test pits? Okay, I'll see Michelle tomorrow. The Tot Park, as you know, the fence has been replaced. I've met with Andrea Hudson, who's one of the Tot Park group members, and, discussed having a more written statement about what's the responsibility of the Tot Park Committee and who the members are and how we can contact them, whoever, if anyone needs to contact them, and what the responsibility is of the village, you know, for that area in and around the Tot Park. So that's moving forward, okay?
Roxanne, is that fence going to be stained or painted or whatever?
No, the previous one, it's the same exact wood of the previous one, it's cedar. So it'll age just like the previous
Okay.
fence aged. The only thing that's left to be done on that is, the previous donations on the first fence had names on it, so those have been taken off and those will go back on. And the new donations will go on, and somebody recently just volunteered to do the laser cutting for those new names. So hopefully, I would say, I'm not saying before the snow falls, but hopefully by next spring, the names will be on. I think the Tot Park Fence Group is taking a little break, because that same group went up and took down the tree on St. Mary's lawn.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, John Morenti has agreed to be a liaison with Haldane, because the Haldane agreement for the use of the fields has kind of been out there, so, hopefully, when we meet on Tuesday, he'll have a report if he's at least made some contact. We purchased a rethatcher, I'm sorry, we have a lot of, we purchased a rethatcher, we agreed to purchase a rethatcher, I don't know if that's been on order, the status of it. We're also looking for the next big expenditure is to replace the doors on the maintenance shed in, that area, so Jeff Phillips is supposed to look into that, so you might hear from that. The only question that we had for you is, the village bathrooms, which are now, somebody else is cleaning them?
Yeah, the ones at the foot of Main Street.
For
are
the-
not
that's what I
your-
meant.
Not your purview.
Okay,
The
and,
ones at Mayor's Park are.
right,
Yeah.
okay, and so,
Anything that's done down there is billed to the village out of,
is that still from the recreation funds?
it's not
Okay,
that.
so that's just a question the committee had, so thank you for that. And, I guess the only other question is, I received a text from, a committee member about the status of the taping at Mayor's Park.
we'll
So-
discuss that. And,
So, other than that, that's my report. Hopefully
okay.
we won't be so busy the next time.
Good
Thank
job,
you.
Roxanne, thank you.
Do you have any questions for me or things you?
I don't think so. Thank you, nice job.
Good job, thank you.
Planning board does not look like we have anything. Zoning board does not look like we have anything. Town of Phillipstown is not here. Historic district review, we have a email update from Kathleen Foley. Now that we're through the summer construction season, applications to the board are slowing as we would expect. This month, we are looking at a fence proposal at 15 Parrot and window and gutter replacement on the building that contains Hudson Hills, 129, 131 Main Street. The slowing of applications and the return of the board to its full complement after vacations and illnesses gives us more capacity to work on the design standards. We started editing last week, and will continue after regular board business this week. We asked the trustees, take up discussion of the Timmy Arch, per communications to you from Chair Zaglinsky. If you or the clerk can communicate the outcome of your discussion, we can continue conversation at our meeting tomorrow night. Respectfully submitted, Kathleen Foley.
Do you know what the Timark is about?
Yes,
Oh, okay, good.
so the whole thing, Mark, as part of the application and part of the approval, for the Butterfield project,
Oh, okay,
the Timmy Ark, which was located in the,
gotcha, I know that.
in the old hospital, was preserved, and, they were supposed to install it somewhere. I think it started out with building one, and since everything's been shuffled around, now it's supposed to be installed in the new senior center, or whatever it's being called. And, and it looks pretty much like the arch isn't gonna fit, and the way it was in its last installation, they put a drop ceiling in and it was cutting part of the top off of it. So it looks really horrendous, and they feel the same thing's gonna happen this time unless they have to cut it or whatever, and then they're afraid that something might be destroyed doing that. So their recommendation from their board, was to ask our board if we would take possession of that, if they were willing, to give that back to us, kind of, and not be part of the, approval, and that we at some later date can install it somewhere. They just feel where it's going to be installed and how it's gonna be installed is not, first of all, it's probably not gonna be noticed by that many people, and then also, it's not gonna look that good.
Is it something that can go outside? I mean,
I don't think so.
so.
Yeah, I don't think you'd wanna do that.
I don't think it's marble.
No, I think it's concrete, it's formed concrete, I think. I'm not positive.
it was related to the Butterfield Hospital?
Yeah,
Yes, Dr. Timmy.
yeah.
Okay,
It's actually in memory of Mrs. Timmy, I believe.
So it's large, but it's broke down right now into like 4 pieces or whatever, so. it
There's
can
an
be-
arch right between the old building and a portion of one of the additions. So it went from floor to ceiling and across and then down, so it was big.
So if anyone have any thoughts on that? I personally think it's not gonna look good. I mean, she sent a picture of how it did look, and with a drop ceiling, or if it's cut in or
Wasn't
cut
But
down.
that was-
Wasn't
that was a
part of the
condition.
original, yeah.
Yes.
That was a
As was
condition
the
for
tree.
Butterfield to, it was a condition to demolish the old Butterfield building,
Mhm.
so that the new Butterfield
Yeah.
buildings could be constructed. And so it seems to me the onus is on the owner to find a place
He has found a place.
that would be prominent and would allow it to be, installed in an unrestricted manner.
I don't know if the approval was that specific, or if it says you should install it. He could say, yes, I'm installing it.
But it was part of the agreement that they
Yes.
keep it there. And, I mean, you would make an assumption when, through all of this, that it's going to be permanent. It was important enough for them to put it in the original agreement.
Well,
So it's
that
important
was from the HDRB. That was part of their conditions for
Or
approval.
whoever, a plan.
So now the
whoever.
HDRB is saying that,
Yeah, but when it was part from the HDRB, but it was agreed upon by the owner
yes,
as part of the terms, that yes,
Yes.
we will keep it, yes, it's important to the village or whoever,
Right.
people way before I was ever part of this village.
right.
And they said yes, which meant that they were supposed to make a place for it. I mean, now we're gonna get stuck with it, not that, stuck with it may be the wrong terminology, but what are we gonna do with it?
Stuck under it.
What are we gonna do with it?
I have no idea what we would do with it, to tell you the truth.
If it was something that we could put outside down by the riverfront or something,
No.
or outside the building.
Where does it reside now on the
It's,
site?
Yeah, it's inside, it's boxed or whatever in crates, or like in 3 parts or something.
It would seem to me, I don't remember what the base of the arch looked like. It seemed to me that most of the ornamentation on the arch was from waist level up. It would seem to me that one could cut it down in size, so that it could fit in an area with a drop ceiling.
Yeah.
And I think that conversation and I would think that Mr. Galaro, sorry, Unicorn Construction or Butterfield Project, whatever it's called, should pay for that to be done.
Right.
So that's
I
what I would
I
recommend.
can pass that on. Lynn, thoughts?
I agree with Marie.
Okay. Fran, we've heard from you
Yeah.
in your circumstance. Steve?
This is the first time hearing about it, so, yes, I think if it's his project, he has to do it, but I really have no ideas that are fresh right now.
All right, I'll get back to Kathleen and tell her that, what I've heard, and kind of that we think that it should be installed, and should be installed properly, and
Yeah, I mean,
not half of it hanging up.
it shouldn't
in
be
the
crappy, you know what I mean?
Right.
It shouldn't be stuck up into a
Right.
drop ceiling or whatever. I don't even know what the thing looks like, so.
No, I don't either.
It's an arch.
I know, but if you cut the legs off of it, people have to duck under it now.
No.
So you know what I mean?
That's a
Like,
good
No.
question, I don't know.
No,
There's nothing that can be done to make it an outside piece of property, right, that you
to
can
make
put,
it what?
to make it
outside.
outside, something that we
I
can put.
doubt it.
Because what I'm thinking of is they're gonna put the park in the corner, it's supposedly Pataki Park or somebody's,
Yeah, that's
I-
put
gonna
it as
be.
an entrance there, yeah, I know, it was in a space too.
They'll have
I
to use
doubt it.
another name.
All right, I'll pass on and see what they come back with. This was discussed by them, so, I will follow up.
But what do they wanna do?
Who?
HDRB?
Oh, they'll do whatever they, HDRB said that they wanted not to put it in there because of the way they felt it was gonna be installed.
And so, so that what they want to do is they want the village to store it, and then the village to find a place to put it
Yeah,
at some point.
At some point.
which is, yeah, which means it'll end up in the
Oh, I
garage or
get it.
something.
Highway garage forever.
Yeah,
That's not in here, okay.
honestly, I didn't.
All right, moving along. Fire company, we've got good news on that though. if you'd
No
like to-
report given though.
No report given. I guess they're not grateful for the new roof that was done and,
The
I
siren.
don't know, that's an assumption I wouldn't make.
The siren was redone.
and also the siren is
It hasn't been installed.
hasn't
yet.
been installed.
No, it is fixed.
A couple good things, there was a little additional work needed on the roof, but I went up and so did Steve and looked at everything, it was done really well. There was a few things that they didn't do on the flashing, Steve brought it up to them and I think they repaired some.
Yeah, I got it.
And we have to do, we're gonna have some of the other stuff repaired because the flashing didn't come down quite as far because they added a cap, they straightened stuff out, so one section has to be kind of cut back a little or whatever, so, we're gonna have someone take care of that and kind of
Yeah,
clean
it
up
needs
the
some
top.
masonry work.
And there's also another bill received for the electric work and removing the ACOs.
Right, that was $150,
Yeah, the small.
not even worth talking about. Tree advisory board, we do not have anything. Code update, Marie.
Okay, in the month of August, the Code Update Committee conducted the third public meeting, as well as 2 regular meetings and 2 meetings to prep for the public hearing. Should be for the public meeting, there was no public hearing, my mistake. At the third public meeting, CUC members presented overviews of the 5 topics for Phase 3. Evaluate adopting Ridgeline Protection Overlay District, outdoor lighting standards, green building standards, evaluate flooding standards, and evaluate steep slope standards. The CUC also presented draft village code changes for all topics, except evaluate adopting Ridgeline Protection Overlay District, because the CUC recommended against adopting a Ridgeline Protection Overlay District. All materials presented at the public meeting are on the village website, including access to the YouTube video of the meeting. The monthly conference call in August was conducted with NYSERDA. The revised NYSERDA contract was approved and accepted by the village of Cold Spring.
Thank you very much. Officer in charge, Bert. Wake up.
Yeah.
Almost ran me off the road tonight, was that intentional?
Sorry?
Going up Main Street?
Yes. Good evening, everybody. For the month of August, we had 91 calls for service. We had an uptick of a lot of 80 cases this month. It was a little bit higher than usual. We also had an uptick in false alarms, basically power outages in certain places or just the school, the burglar alarm goes off. There's a critter that runs in through the building or whatever. We had an uptick of those, which keeps my guys kind of busy 4 false alarms on that. Other than that, it was a quiet month. We had one male arrested for mental health law. We seem to be getting those at least once a month. He had to be taken over to Putnam County Hospital. And we had moving violations 26. We had parking summonses 90 for a total of 116 tickets issued for the month of August. That's it.
Thank you.
What, it says property damage on there, there's a few instances of that, what was that?
Property damage could be basically just, somebody's, ran into a mailbox, or that specific one I'm not positive on. Normally, even in a vehicle accident, if somebody backs into, let's say, your post or something like that, it'll go down as a property damage only. If it goes down as a auto accident, it would be considered a personal injury. Even though it's an auto accident, it would go down on a different,
So it's not vandalism or?
location. No, there was no vandalism. I'm sorry, I will go back on one. There was, some graffiti on the back of Food Town, that one of my officers noticed on a midnight. I don't have the exact date right now. We did an investigation on it, and it is still ongoing, and it looks to be something similar that we've had in the past. So we are looking into that, those individuals and that as we speak. And as we get further into it, I will let the board and the village know.
Cool. Thank you.
In a note of levity, the animals that you mentioned at the school today, they had a hummingbird in the building.
That's right, we heard about that.
Yes, we were up there. We heard about the hummingbird.
They can be deadly.
Setting off all sorts of alarms. Very quick, very quick.
So Larry and I met with the superintendent today, and who's the officer? He's the
Matt Shelters is the SRO.
SRO.
School safety
Um,
officer.
Regarding the traffic pattern and kind of following up and seeing how we can assist. So Larry has some thoughts, or we all had thoughts, and so we'll be trying to work with them and see what we can do to alleviate that. I think this guy's really great. He's definitely taking things step by step and thinking it out, which I think was lacking in the last administration. So I have a good feeling about it all. So I think things will be good. So it's a good meeting. Also, we have, which Larry didn't bring up, we've got someone on camera that got out of their car and their car smashed into the wall down there, and they got back in their car and left after we had just fixed it. We got their plate number now, and so we'll follow up on that.
It's an ongoing investigation. I've located the person that did do that, and I will make sure that hopefully he or she is willing to repair it through their insurance. That was for next month, because that just happened.
Sorry.
That was next month. Give me
I'm
the
just so
link.
excited about it.
So actually, the surveillance cameras are working, so.
Right, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Thank you, Larry. Greg, you're up. Water, wastewater departments.
Okay, if we start with wastewater, not a lot in either one of them, but we had a vendor come by and they're loaning us a piece of equipment for a couple of months that's going into the wet well, which is where the influent of everything into the plant comes into what's called a wet well before it's pumped into the system. Grease and things that are deemed to be disposable tend to form a mat on top of everything. It's 6-8 inches thick, and it's quite hard, and it's tough to break up. It's a maintenance issue, and it's really, there's a lot of odor involved with it. This unit that was supplied to us as a trial basically aerates the system down there, and not having the still water on top of it, the grease doesn't form, the mat doesn't form, blah, blah, blah. So we're assessing it. We get it for a couple months free. At the end, we'll have, they'll give us a proposal on what it would cost to get it. We'll decide whether it's worth the effort and come with the recommendation to do or not do anything about it.
Is it a summertime only problem?
No, it's your grease is year round. Yeah, it's forever and always.
Grease is the word.
And grease is the word. And it gets onto the control flows. We have a pressure transducer that, basically senses the pressure and correlates that to the level in the wet well. That's our main control, but the backup control of these control floats, and they have to be able to manipulate and show level, and when they're hung up in a grease mat, they don't work. So
What do you do now about it?
we're in there every, couple of weeks, basically hosing it and breaking it up, and it's time that could be better spent if, again, depending on what these costs are. So far, it looks pretty good, but, we'll see.
Cool.
It's nice when it's free.
Yeah.
So that's wastewater. on the, Kemble Loudon, they did get down there, we do have the new backer board and the emergency disconnect, the manual transfer switch for Kemble Avenue is done. That's done and looks good. So that finishes out that part of the Market Street rehab and replacement.
On the Market Street, was somebody complaining about odor or anything? Was that anything?
I haven't heard anything about odor with Market Street, really?
Yeah, down at the end, they said something about when cars go by. You didn't get that?
I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Good, didn't happen.
Okay. Water department. There was a leak on a private service line, it was repaired, saved about 5,000 gallons per day. That was found when, 2 months ago, we had a leak detection company come through. We're doing it about every 2 years to make sure that our system is watertight. And it was only one of the leaks noted. There's some maintenance that we have to do on a regulating valve on Northern Avenue, but the one leak that was found has now been repaired. So that's a good thing. And I did mention, I think last time, that we're looking at changing the master meter that comes out of the storage tanks. Our entry point to the distribution system is a 6-inch meter that's been in there since '97. We're looking to put a new meter in, a Badger meter that's tied in with our cellular, so that we can literally take snapshots of a period where water is passed out of the meter and then what is shown up at meters in residences, so we can do kind of a water audit. So I'm getting prices on that, and
You had talked about the possibility of that as a project, to try to monitor the outflow
Yeah.
and the intake
mhm.
at each of the badgers. So that would be the way to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Once that is installed.
And plus, we would, in having a brand new meter involved, your accuracy's, over 20 years, that meter has put, I think, about 1.4 billion gallons through it, since it went online. So, 1.2, sorry. So, it's still accurate, but I mean, nice to have something new to be referencing.
Yeah,
The meters in the system are new, and that's new, so it's probably the best shot we have at it. So that's that, and then, we contacted Tectonic Engineering, and they're planning to have their survey crew out on the west side of the Upper Reservoir Dam to flag the boundaries of what we're, contemplating as the alternatives for, necessary property easements. And then once that gets flagged out, then it's easier to go up there and meet with the property owners, because you're not just showing them a piece of paper, they can actually see. They'll have different color flagging for, whatever different, options are out there, and they'll be able to see what's going on and have a probably more fruitful discussion that way than pointing at a piece of paper and saying, where that would be in the woods.
When are they planning that?
I asked them for a timeline, I'm hoping for it to be this month,
Okay, great.
so we'll see. That's
I
it.
told you to read, so you gave us permission, right?
Yes, and that's when we
Right.
approached them, wanted to make sure nobody wanted to
Wasn't sure.
have any issue with that.
You asked us, I don't know if it was an email, about some piece of equipment you wanted to purchase, about $12,000, is
The
that?
aeration for Foundry Brook Reservoir, yes.
Yes.
Oddly enough, last week, a gentleman walked into my office and has an a similar product, similar theory, and a different product that they're bringing in, and they want to do some testing and provide us with another quote, another proposal. So basically putting that on hold while we gather the other information, because we had, already done some research to find out, what alternatives were available, and this one wasn't even available at that time, so it's that new. So we're gonna evaluate and then get back to you. So, yeah, hopefully within the next month or two, we'll have some information on that.
Also, Greg and I and Bart walked the west side of the properties behind where the old road was and the Russian camp, and trying to stake out a way to get to the access to the dams when and if that happens. So
Yeah, that's east side,
what's that?
that's the east side.
East side, sorry, yes, east side. Anyway, I followed up with Phillipstown today, tried to get more maps, but got a little bit clearer, and I also marked off some stuff, so I'll talk to you about that.
All right.
Report of building department, let's see, new building permits, applications received only 1, building permits issued 5, COOs issued 4, title searches completed 4. fees, August, total is $2,915. Highway Department, Fran, do you wanna take on this novel?
Sure. Monthly report for August. We started out the month with some tree work, trimming the willows at the riverfront, multiple limbs that had come down during the windstorm, finished removing a large limb from Paulding, removed a dead tree from Conville Park, and assisted Phillipstown Tree Service with the cut-up and removal of a fairly good-sized locust that came down on North Street. During the month, we came across 3 different hornet's nests that needed to be removed. 2 of them were removed by the Highway Department, while the third one was beyond our means and was removed by Mark Forsenza of Bugsy's Pest Control. We had a few flooding issues below the tracks and came to find out that they were caused by the generator not engaging when power was lost. We removed the discarded fence that surrounded Tots Park, brought it down to the Highway Department for future burning. We finished painting all of the crosswalks on Main Street and painted the 3 by the school on Mountain Avenue. We assisted Mayor Morandi in installing pavers on Main Street. We removed 2 broken benches from the 9/11 memorial and combined them into one structurally stable bench to be put out on Main Street. We had multiple times of cleaning the catch basins, the brooks, and various other drain pipes around the village due to the heavy rains we received in August. Brush pickup continued this month on the 3rd Wednesday of the month, and we will probably be going bi-monthly pickups in September. Potholes were filled again. We removed and replaced a 20-foot section of sidewalk on Parsonage Street, removed and replaced a 48-foot section of curb on Parrott Street. We installed a pad of pavers at McConville Park for the commemorative bench that will be dedicated this coming September. We continued watering the recently planted trees around the village. We worked on the air compressor for the new jackhammer and got them fitted with each other. The 03 International garbage truck had a tire blowout while en route to the Willabrator in Peekskill. We picked up 8 new tires for it and had Michael Padala install them on said truck. All of this happened while I was away on vacation, and a very young and inexperienced crew worked together to get the truck back safely and purchase new tires for Mike to install them. Pause for proud dad moment. From Bugsy. The same 03 International garbage truck then had starting issues with heavy white smoke billowing from exhaust stack. Currently, Riverview Industries is looking into the problem. Training has slowed down this month as we're trying to catch up with more pressing issues. In September, we're looking to put a more concentrated effort into the pavers on Main Street and to also start repairing the curbing up and down Main Street. Submitted from Crew Chief Bugsy.
I'd like to ask Bugsy to continue or to resume reporting on the amount of garbage delivered to Wheelabrator and recyclables delivered to Recon. Is everybody okay with that?
Sure. The reason for this is because one reason, I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but the recyclables have climbed again, so they're closing in on the same cost for recyclables as they are for garbage.
It's now, we're $13 apart,
$13.
so your report from a few weeks ago is,
So we have to address that in some manner, I don't know what, but, anyway. Report from Justice Court, fines, forfeited bails and civil penalties, $2,900, parking tickets, $3,110, civil fees, $95, mandatory state surcharges, $1,315, and the total is $7,420. Respectfully, Thomas Costello, Village Clerk. Okay, next we have approve the completion of probationary periods for laborers Zach Markey and Corey Thomas, effective September 29, 2018, per recommendations of the Highway Crew Chief. I met with Bugsy and evaluated his job and his performance, as well as asking him about the laborers that we had hired, Zach and Corey. He had nothing bad to say about them. I mean, there was a few little things, not bad, that he was trying to correct, maybe uses of cell phones, things like that, on the job. But other than that, he recommended, ending their probationary period. This is 6 months. We could bring it out to a year, by law. But he's recommended that we hire them now. And, so I'll make the, motion to end the probationary period for Zach Markey and Corey Thomas, effective September 29th, 2018.
Second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, as we have discussed in the past, we were bringing up increases in the salaries since we start out so low. It's not competitive at all, and we'd like to keep some of these guys if we can. Not that a dollar might help, but maybe it will. Anyway, it shows that we are trying to bring things up. So I'd like to make a motion to approve a salary increase to 16 an hour for Zach Markey and Corey Thomas, now that they've are off their probation, and this is effective September 29th, 2018.
I'll second
Any discussion? All in favor?
that.
Aye.
Next is the approval of completion probationary period for Highway Department Crew Chief Robert Bugsy Downey Jr., effective September 15th, 2018, for recommendation of myself. As I said, I sat down with Bugsy, we went over everything, critiqued things, both pro and con on his performance. I think overall he's done a great job. I think one thing that really has to be taken into consideration that he has 3 new guys that have never worked on the highway or under these conditions, and this is the first time that he's actually taken on the responsibilities of the crew chief. So I think he did a really good job in keeping things together. As you know, our highway department's been bouncing around, so hopefully it's stabilized now. We seem like we have a good crew. So I'd recommend ending his probationary period.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, did I miss something?
Before the mayor vote.
What's that? Oh, mayor and the board, yeah, okay, sorry, I skipped us.
You skipped us.
All right, I'll go back to that, I'll do the, consider increase to $100 a fee for submitting film permit application. It's currently $50. As you know, from our experience just recently, at our last meeting, we went through all this trouble to get the permit up and, for these people. They had the application in and then they backed out. So it's taking us, $100 is nothing, but at least it's a little more than we're getting right now. So if people want to submit an application, it's gonna cost them $100 now, and it's non-refundable. So if they back out, at least we have a little bit to show for it. So I'll make a motion to increase the fee from 50 to 100 for the film application.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Are we at a point where we can put that information on the website, like the application and the fee list and everything, or do we need any more approvals or any more votes on this?
I think
I think we're good.
we're good.
So we should be able
Yeah.
to, I can talk to Jeff next week about
Yeah.
trying to get the whole filming thing up, okay.
Just related to this, as I was looking at that application last week after the meeting, there was a lot of information that just plain wasn't there, that we asked for. People need to not just submit the application, but as with the application, they need to also submit their insurance documentation and all that
Yeah, that's
stuff.
what I'm wondering, if we put this stuff up,
So,
they should be able to find it faster.
I guess I was just wondering, are they getting the whole packet when, all the agreements that they have to sign to?
I don't know, I know a lot of it is,
Yeah.
a last minute phone call to
Yeah.
Jeff, he sends them what he sends them. That's what I'm hoping, if we get everything up, we can just say, go here and click there,
Yeah,
and everything, here's the instructions, here's the packet, here's the application.
okay.
If you want, you can call,
Yeah.
talk to Jeff, see how the last one went. Okay, did we pass that?
No, we didn't.
Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll keep going, we'll get back to us at the end. Authorize the mayor to sign letter to the New York City DEP regarding the water supply agreement. This has been going on for how many years?
7+.
7+ years, and this is integral part of us doing any work on the dams, is to connect to the aqueduct system from New York City. I think they just keep moving the goalposts on us and, or just ignoring us or whatever. Greg can give you a better description of it. This is my snapshot
All of
from
the
the
above.
visits I've had with them. So it hasn't gone smoothly, so this is another letter in response to their previous meeting or their letters, so, of what they're requiring. They
Good
seem to
letter.
keep requiring more stuff that's just we can't do. So, anyway, I'd like to,
You want a motion?
yeah,
I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the letter to the New York City DEP regarding the water supply agreement.
I'll second that.
any discussion? You wanna add anything to that, Greg?
Just as a follow-up to see how they come back with it, we've gotta try to get some political clout and get up the ladder with people who might actually be able to stir them, because
Right.
they don't seem to be worried about us.
It's an election year, we should be able to find
I
10
know,
people.
yeah.
We should be able to find 10 people.
Just the idea of the whole water district thing, what they wanted to split things up, and it would be millions of dollars for us to comply with what they want. Millions, not just a little
Yeah.
stuff, more than, probably as much as the dam work, to split it up, to meter it the way that they want. That only adds more levels of bureaucracy to 3 small
Right.
governments.
And that makes no sense.
When they're calling for consolidation of everything else, they're looking for us to split it up.
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of bills?
Okay, I move to approve, batch number 4783 for a total of $62,142.72.
Second that?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's see, approval of minutes, 8/28/18, Village Board of Trustees. Make, well, someone else should make a motion, play with me down here, so.
I will make a motion to approve minutes for workshop meeting August 28th, 2018.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion?
You weren't here when.
What's that? Any discussion?
Lynn wasn't in attendance, so she can't second that.
Oh, you're right.
So I'll second it, Fran.
Okay.
Everything good? Okay.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I abstain, and Lynn was abstained, we were not present for that meeting.
Mhm.
And then approve the minutes for 9/4/18. I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I have a question, and I brought it up to Jeff, but I wasn't, I just wanted to bring it up here. Is there a specific way that the vote should show on this?
It's typically X, Y, Z.
Typically what?
X, Y, Z.
No, yes,
I think it's yes,
yes,
no, and abstained,
and absent.
or
That's usually what I've seen.
It's
yes, no, abstained.
and absent,
No, it's only three, it's X, Y, and Z.
okay. Because on the workshop for September 4th, we have a vote on the first page of 5-0, which is fine. And that was approved, and we have a vote on the second page, which was denied. Near the bottom, it's 4-1, but it was a denial, so shouldn't it be 1-4?
No, oh, yes, yes. She's correct on that one,
Just
Michael.
above the
It should
part
be-
that says request for photo shoot, Michael.
I'm trying to find it, we're in the 9-4?
We're in the 9-4, second page. Right, the vote on the Green Mountain Energy, the last line of that section. The vote you wrote of 4-1, the board
Should be
declined.
1-4?
Should be 1-4, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good catch, Fran.
Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept with that one change.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right?
Okay, we can hop back to, report from the board. I've got a few things, somebody else can go. Lynn, do you have, would you like?
You know, other than working with Fran and getting the senior picnic, and I really hope that our employees and volunteers,
So it's not,
I know it's not the senior
picnic.
picnic, it's the senior
Volunteer,
Employee.
employee.
volunteers and employees
Picnic.
appreciation picnic.
Extravaganza.
That's
I
an
hope you all work.
extravaganza. It works.
I'm gonna both categories.
You gonna make it, Craig?
I'm on the fence, supposed to be out of town, but we're here, we'll be there.
Come on. I have,
Marie, do you have anything?
I'll make sure
I
your
have
favorite
just-
beer's there if you show up.
I have just, a pass on from Jeff for basically Greg and Larry. Timesheets are due end of day Friday this week, and probably from here until Michelle gets back, because he tries to get payroll done on the weekend. So if you bring him timesheets on Monday, it's too late. So that was, and I have a few other things, but I can wait there.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, other than that, I have, put in a request for CHIPS reimbursement for, the Market Street paving and for some other paving that Bugsy did, so that request has gone in. And we put in a request for Community Foundations of Hudson Valley, for $2,000 in tech money for a project that's been going on in the office, updating the systems. And other than that, just working on the picnic. So that's my,
Steve? Nada?
Got nada.
I'll just go through, there's some, like a calendar of things going on, so I thought I would, read those off. One is the Lions Club, Pig and Roast, and Chicken Roast at Glenwood, that's this Saturday, I believe. It's, 3:00 at Glenwood Farm, it costs us $60 a person. Benefits the Frank Milkovich Scholarship Fund, Phillipstown Food Pantry, and Phillipstown Little League. All the money that the Lions Club makes, I think they zero out at the end of the year and give everything back to the community, Phillipstown itself. So it's well worth if you'd like to donate, or if you don't wanna go, you can still donate to them. Good organization. Volunteers and Senior Picnic, as we just stated, is this Saturday, 1 to 5 in Mayor's Park. Flu shots are being given at the Garrison Fire Department between 2 and 6:30 on October 10th. Cost is $25, or if you're 65 or older, free with Medicare card. Tomorrow, there will be a full volume siren test for Indian Point at 6 o'clock. So get ready to type out on Facebook what is going on. Then Knights of Columbia Oktoberfest is September 29th and 30th. Let's see, Phillipstown's Bike Day is Sunday the 30th also, 9 to 12. The starting point is at Haldane, and I believe it's in the upper parking lot behind the new school annex. Primary voting's this Thursday, should be interesting. And Cold Spring Chamber of Commerce Mixer is this Thursday also at 5:30 at Magazzino Italian Art. It's a $15 advance members ticket and $20 non-members. And that's what I have.
Dave, when is the bike day?
September
That's
30th.
September
Thank
30th,
you.
and that's 9 to,
No.
9 to, what was that?
Just one other point, on Saturday also, Church Street will be closed for a block party. There'll be no parking on Church Street, my guys will put signs out, probably on the midnight Friday night. So Church Street will be closed and no parking on Church Street from 2 o'clock until 9.
Okay, great, thank you.
We can put a blast out on webpage and Facebook and.
Is that also the date for Miss Connie's memorial at the tot lot? I thought I saw something about that.
Larry, I'm sorry, what time are you closing the street?
There'll be no parking in the streets, will be closed from 2 p.m. until 9 p.m.
They're closing it off.
Saturday on Church Street.
Are you gonna close it off that night though, the night before? Did
No,
you say?
we're gonna put the signs up, basically don't park on the street the next day, we're gonna try to avoid having, trying to move cars or have people trying to have their block party with cars there.
No.
So we just appreciate it if, the residents could help out and not park there the night before, that would help.
Okay.
The memorial is on Sunday.
It's on Sunday, thank you.
What time is that, Doug?
It is 11 a.m. at Tots Park.
Thank you. Well, we have one other thing. The Knights of Columbus have put up, I don't know, I just seem not to coordinate well with myself or with Jeff or the village. Banners go up without our approval. The whole field is quadrant off now with tape, not with our approval. And actually, John, you came in and talked to Jeff, and he said we would discuss that tonight. You know, I'm not sure what, really what to say. It just seems like you feel like whatever you want to do, you can do, and that's just not going to work. I want that. I don't know how Bruce is supposed to cut the lawns, or how long you're supposed to have that there, or if you're going to decide when we're cutting lawns now or what. But I want that out of there. I want those things out of there. I want the banner down. If you had come to us, I'd run it by the board, all of this, and we could have discussed it. But I just feel like we get absolutely no respect. Really do.
Okay.
Like I said, if you come to us and talk to us about stuff, that's fine, but you just kind of do put stuff all over. I don't think you know exactly what's going on down that field, because I don't think I know all the time. Someone could come in and we could, and move something ahead quickly to have someone have a party or whatever that might want to use the ball field, or maybe we want to use the ball field this weekend, I don't know, but now it's all taped off, so I'd like to have all of that removed.
Bruce is planning on mowing the lawn, mowing the park, his schedule, mowing for that area is Friday.
Okay,
The tent is going up on Thursday, and I told him that, the tent is going up on Thursday.
Right, so his plan on mowing the ballpark and the pavilion is Friday, so, just to let you know that.
so if we could have that stuff removed by then, that would be appreciated. Anything else from the public?
I guess I would ask, John Shearer, I would ask, when could I put that banner, that tape back up in place, because it looks like it is a deterrent. The animals didn't work. We saw the geese standing along with the, we saw the geese standing alongside the dogs out there, so those weren't working. So that's fine, me taking them down, tape, but I would like to put it back up, so if I can get permission for when I can go back out there and put the tape up, because it has stopped the geese from defecating on the field. We're planning on having people bring blankets and sit around, and last year we picked up about 100 pounds of goose droppings. Spent 5 hours with 5 guys. The village has no other means in which to get rid of the goose droppings. And since it's been up on Saturday, there are no geese on that field anymore.
Yeah,
So that people,
they're up on Morris Avenue now.
Pardon me?
You can come watch them on Morris Avenue now.
And other baseball.
They've
field.
migrated.
Well, at least the field will be clean.
I'm joking, John.
The field
They
will be
did
clean
move.
and people can actually use the field.
I don't know
And it's the idea of
what the
taking back the
schedule is, because the school uses that, and, some
Alright,
of the
does Pop
sports
Warner
do.
use it also?
Yeah.
They haven't been using it because of the situation down there. They went down to Garrison supposedly and used the fields down there.
There's no geese
So-
down in Garrison?
Supposedly not.
No.
So
don't know
I
what
guess
the
then I need
schedule
to
is
ask
for the geese.
when I can put the tape back
I can
up
go get the calendar.
so that we don't have to go out there and pick up all the goose droppings.
Maybe if there's nobody using it, let them put them up the week before.
Rows of tape can be removed and Bruce could mow in between and I can coordinate it with him.
I'm not gonna have a mow between stakes or ribbons. I mean, it comes out, it comes out. I mean, if you wanna put it up, I mean, we could talk to Bruce and it would be the week before, because if not, then he's gonna probably need to cut next week, and so you'd have to take them down again. I mean, if you wanna be taking them up and down and working with whatever schedule comes along, that's one thing. Looking at this, it looks like the last week, we'd have to just talk to Bruce and when he's gonna cut. I'm sure you'd want the grass cut, we are getting a thatcher that might help clean up everything. I don't know when that's gonna be delivered. I thought that they had it in stock, we approved it, so I don't know if that's gonna help or not.
Collector thing?
Bruce, no, it wasn't the collector, it was like a Thatcher, which, you know, well, yeah, it kind of collects the grass cuttings, but it might also take up some of that, or that's what Bruce feels.
And Haldane doesn't use it for practice.
What's that?
Haldane doesn't use it for practice.
I have no
Well,
idea if
John-
Haldane's using it
Joe
or,
Morante is gonna be coordinating with Haldane, so I guess we need to wait until he talks to them too.
You know, if I need to talk to some of the other sports organizations to see if they're gonna be down there, it is stopping the geese from down there. If it's raining, it's actually getting rid of some of that geese droppings that are on the field now. We just didn't really wanna spend 4 or 5 hours trying to remove all the geese droppings. We have a lot of games, we have kids, we have a fun zone coming there.
yeah, but I mean, you're bringing all this up and I understand all that, but we don't have the manpower and we don't have the people to do that either.
I
This
understand.
is this is a moneymaker for you, a big moneymaker.
No, wait,
No,
wait,
let me,
no,
let
it's
me,
not,
no, I am the mayor right here and I am the one that's running the meeting.
It's not a fundraiser for us, first off, Danny.
First of all, I'm talking. So please, a little respect, which I just brought up that you don't have for me.
Right.
First of all, you're there with your organization making money, and that's great. You have a great group of guys, and you're doing a great job. That's fine. But that doesn't mean that we are responsible for making your day happen. We don't have the manpower to go down there. The geese are a problem. We're not going down there for just you and this one event, and that's it.
Right.
We're not just doing that, and then anyone that comes here, we're going down there and doing that. Village people are paying their taxes to have stuff taken care of or whatever.
Right.
You're from our all around. You're for a group, a charitable organization that you're working for, and that's all understood. But we don't have the manpower to do that, and so when you're bringing up all this stuff like we should be the people that are doing this, I think that you're making so much money. Do you rent tents? Do you hire bands? You're spending a lot of money invested in this, but you're not willing to spend a little bit more money to have someone clean up that area. That's our responsibility. When we give it to you for free, we don't charge anyone anything more than $50 or $100 to use the fields. But we're supposed to be responsible. That's my take on it.
Okay, can I respond? Can I respond?
If you'd like to
Your
respond,
comments?
sure.
Okay, first off, the Knights of Columbus is a not-for-profit organization. Most of the money that we raise from this event goes to Our Lady of Loretto Parish, okay? The largest church in town with like over 900 families that are part of that Catholic church. Most of the money goes to that. The other rest of the money goes to Special Olympics out of Wappingers, and some of the money's going to the Putnam Humane Society. We keep several $1,000s in order to pay for the $35,000 worth of expenses we have. That event that takes place, there's roughly around 70 to 80 volunteers. No outside vendors come from anywhere to do anything there. That's all organized, cooked, served by all volunteers from Our Lady of Loretto Parish and also the Knights of Columbus, okay? So it's been going on for 4 years, and we do it all ourselves, okay? There's no profit made by our organization, because we take that money and we put it on for next year. So we're trying to bring in people into the town for that, to raise money for different organizations, and also to bring people into the town because no other events take place in this town. And I try to continue that tradition here in town, okay? That's one thing. The other thing is, if I need to take the tape down, I guess I'm asking you now, when can I put the tape back up if possible, so I can deter the geese from defecating on the field, so that it's a clean zone, so when people are sitting, where we set up 500 chairs underneath the tent, we would like to have that as a clean zone, the field. I'm not asking you to do anything. That's why the tape was put up there, to get rid of the geese, because no other solutions have been provided by the village. The field isn't used by anybody. You can look at the baseball field, and if you all go out there and walk on the field, you can see why children wouldn't be playing on that field. because it's an embarrassment that we have such a beautiful facility and we can't use it because we haven't really taken the right corrective actions. I think I did. I'm sorry that the geese are in another location, but you gotta take back the field. So I'm willing to take that and go down there. I spent 3 hours Saturday morning putting it up. It cost me $80. That's out of my pocket, Dave, that I put all that tape and bought the tape and put everything up. And I do that as a volunteer. I volunteer to do this event.
But nobody gave you permission to do that.
I understand, and
So don't, you know, you're
That's
crying
fine,
on the
and I-
wrong shoulder here.
That's fine, and I apologize for taking that action, doing it too quick. And I should have checked with you guys, and I didn't know you had a meeting tonight.
Yes, Jeff told
Jeff told you you had a meeting.
You had a meeting tonight, and that tonight you should come and ask us. That's what he
Right.
said, you know, so the difference between
Okay.
what he said and, you know, unfortunately, you were gung-ho and you did it, and then, you know, it backfired, because
Okay. So I guess,
And I don't think the solution, I mean, thank you for giving us so much credit and solving a problem that no one can solve anywhere in the country from what I can see. But putting tape all over our field so no one can use it is not a solution to keep the geese out. It might be a solution for your organization, for what you're doing 3 weeks from now, but it's not helping anybody to go down there and use it this week if they wanted to, or next week, because it's all quadrant off with tape. So how does that work?
well, that quadrant design and stuff can be reduced down and stuff with a little bit different.
Oh, so we're gonna play
things.
inside little quadrants, or if people wanna go down there? I'm just saying, it's not, you're making it like we didn't take the correct action. You tell me what the correct action is. What, are we gonna spend a lot of money on labor to do that, which we don't have, and we can barely get a lot of stuff done, like cutting trees down in the village? Or should we invest in machinery that we also don't have the money for, and then who's gonna, you know, who's gonna provide the labor for that? Or, so what are we supposed to do? I mean, you know, I know we're incompetent here, and you've made that clear, so maybe give us a suggestion that we could do. That's not gonna cost the taxpayers a lot of money, and that we could actually do, because I'm all ears. I talked to you, you had mentioned dogs, I talked to you about that, and I got a limp response, basically, that we were still, you know, we should be cleaning up that area, and basically telling me we should clean up that area. And I didn't misinterpret the email that you sent me.
Well, a dog solution, dog park is a good solution, but nothing was taken, no action was taken here. in
No action was
Stockton.
taken because we can only do so much, and this was like a month ago that we started on this course.
Well, we put in this notice, we've known the geese situation, the problem there and stuff. I put the application in 6 or 7 months ago and stuff, and we know it's a problem down there, don't we? We're just putting our heads in the soil and stuff. If you don't think it is, nobody uses the field.
I think we all agree that there's a problem.
Okay.
I think we
Well,
can
right
agree
now
on
I-
a solution.
Well, right now, this is a solution I'm having for a very expensive, very large festival that I'm putting on. This is
That's yours,
it's for the community too, Dave.
is it?
Yeah, you wanted me to give you a list of all the people that attend and have a great time?
That's good. I'm
Did you
glad.
come last year?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so it's an event
And
for
I
the
complimented
community.
you and your people that are working down there, but that doesn't mean that we have to, that everything should be geared towards you and everybody should stop everything we're doing because you're having a festival down there that you think everyone is enjoying, and maybe they are.
I think what John is, if I may, John is asking the village, what is the date by which he could reinstall the yellow tape prior to the event, which is, I think, September 29th and 30th?
Right.
So can we?
And I would like to say that I'm not ready to make that decision until we know exactly what's going on within the next few weeks.
Well, that's just it. To give him an answer to that, we would have to determine what events, what use is going to occur on the field between now and September 29th, and then we can give him an answer.
And when Bruce wants to.
And when there's cutting
when-
going
when he's gonna
Yes,
do
and
it.
so
At
it's
this-
cutting,
yeah.
it's, whether or not Helding's going to be using it, whether or not anyone else is going to be using it, so there are at least 3 elements, events that would factor into a
If there's
response
not,
to
if
John.
there's no parties planned, John Moranti's gonna be talking to Haldane, so we don't know what
Yeah,
the result of that's gonna be.
I guess a couple of things. One is the maintenance of the field.
Can we take it offline and
Yep.
we'll come back to you with a response, John?
When?
Okay. Ruth Ann, I'll give you a call and we'll
Fine.
sort it through.
And I'll check with Howley
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
I guess, well, it's public comments, I'll make two other comments. One is on Kemble Avenue. Somebody, filled in around the pole on Kemble Avenue with the sidewalk, was broken. They'd set a new pole a while back, and you had somebody come in, a contractor, to fill in the, sidewalk on the west side of the street.
Yes,
And that has probably 50 different words on it, where somebody engraved into the sidewalk. I don't know if you looked at it or saw it. That looks like vandalism to me. And I make a note that somebody probably should take a look at it.
the holes that you're referring to, one was on Kimball Avenue, one was on Fern Street. The holes were created when Central Hudson removed the
Sure.
dead wood.
Sure.
Not Central Hudson, when Verizon removed the dead wood, and part of the agreement was that Verizon had to have a firm come in and put new concrete there. They did that today for Fern Street. I don't remember when they did it for Kimball Avenue.
They did it on, probably on Friday of last week,
Okay.
but somebody decided to take a stick and write all types of words, and pizza and initials, and I think it should be investigated, and maybe somebody find out who did it, because it's, the sidewalk is not the way it should be. So as of this time, with regards to the tape down there, can it remain until you get back to me?
Yeah,
Remind us so I can,
Whatever.
The tape has,
Has to come
Thanks.
back.
Yeah, Bruce is planning on mowing the field and the mayor's park, the pavilion and the field on Friday. That's his schedule.
Yeah,
And I know he's also having somebody else come in to do the weed whacking, if it hasn't been done already, around the fences. So,
this coming Friday?
yes.
yeah, because
A
the
tent's
senior
being
pic,
delivered on
the
Thursday.
picnic is on Saturday, so yeah.
We have a tent coming in with chairs and tables on Thursday.
But that's not in the.
That's in the Willow area, I didn't
Yeah.
touch the Willow,
He's
the
not-
Willow area
he's-
hasn't been
he's in the-
impacted by the
It's in
tape.
the field area. So it has to come down.
As of what time, when, tomorrow, or
it
by
has-
Friday? Can we
has to be
keep it
gone.
up so we can
By
keep
Thursday.
down the amount of geese droppings on the field? And I apologize for putting it up beforehand. I was a little excited about the system.
Yeah, by Thursday.
If you can remove it by Thursday, John,
What's
so
the
that
date?
it would be unimpeded grass cutting on Friday. Thank you.
When would we find out when we could put
I'll-
it back in?
I'll be
I have to
doing,
contact Haldane to make sure how they're using the field. I'll talk to John Morente to talk to Haldane.
Okay.
So,
Anything else from the public? Yes.
What are the hours for the picnic, Big Park?
1 to 5.
Not 11.
The seniors will be there a lot.
Anything else? Make a motion to adjourn?
no.
What's that? What do we got?
Executive session.
Oh, executive session, I'm sorry. What did it say?
18.
Okay, we're going to executive session, to discuss employment history of a particular individual. Once we come out of that, we will adjourn the meeting, no action will be taken. So I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.